Let's do like just the most basic implementation where you hit a key and then that triggers a sound. Yeah, right click, create an audio folder. You would have like mixer folder, and you could have like a files folder and like a MetaSounds folder. We're not going to worry about mixers today. So find some file that you have lying around, preferably a one shot, like a sound that's not supposed to loop, not too long, a couple of seconds max. I'll just drag my hit sounds in there. Wonderful. If you update your sounds, and as long as they have the same name, you can just drag and drop it into the same folder and it will automatically update. Okay, go into the MetaSound folder, right click, go to audio, MetaSound source. There's a list like further down here called MetaSounds, and then you have a MetaSound patch. It's kind of the same thing as a MetaSound source, except the patch can't be placed as an actor in the game world, while the source can. If you've ever played with Max or Pure Data, it's just like an abstraction, I guess. A reverb MetaSound or a clip distortion MetaSound don't necessarily interact directly with the game. Those are usually just patches. Create a MetaSound source for the sake of just being on the same page. Maybe we should just call it sound 1 or something. Open it up by double clicking. So there is some stuff here already. All MetaSounds need to have these nodes in order to work. On play, basically just whenever you tell some other functionality in Unreal to play this MetaSound, a signal will come out of this node. Then you put some functionality in here and then connect that to like the output. Out mono is, it's a mono output. On finished is telling Unreal that you're done playing your sound. So it can sort of clean up. You're allocating memory, right? Like in your computer, whenever you try to play a sound, and you need to tell Unreal like, hey, we're done with the sound, so that they can kind of free up those resources to be used for, you know, graphics or whatever. Right click, you get like this menu thing that can be a little bit overwhelming at first. Go to functions, double click, I think, and it will open up even more menus.
Wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. I always found this to be very overwhelming, but you'll learn to kind of like search for things eventually, and then it's going to be a lot quicker. We're going to be using this thing called the wave player. Click wave player mono. Here you can search for whatever your sound is called to make it associated with this player and this MetaSound. Connect on play to play, connect out mono to out mono, and on finished to on finished. When you are at this stage, hit space, you will hear your sound. And you can, of course, like change the pitch if you want to do that. Okay, let's get this thing playing from the game. Minimize this window. You don't have to close it because we're going to use it again later. There is a folder called third person. This is where the logic of like controlling the character is stored. Go to third person, blueprints, BP third person, or blueprint third person, and double click that to open it up. Find like a space that's free so we can use. Right click. There's a lot more stuff here than in just the MetaSounds. So we're going to be searching for things. So what we want is like a sound to be played whenever an E key is hit. What we can search for is like keyboard E. It's under keyboard events. So you might have to like scroll down and see if you can find the E key.
There's one for every key.
Yeah, there is an event for every key. Red nodes are events. An event is basically when something happens, you send a signal. Whatever is sort of listening to that event is an event listener. You can sort of think of it as an event listener. Like whenever you create this thing, it's going to listen for whenever the key E is being pressed or released for that matter. Click the pressed output of this thing and drag it out and release. It's kind of the same thing as right-clicking and choosing your node, except this is faster because it will automatically connect the next node that you're creating. Let's play it in 2D for now. Play sound 2D is what it's called, this node right here. You can select an asset, and the asset you're going to select is your MetaSound, and it will tell you under here that it's a MetaSound source. Save it, and you have to compile it. This turns into a yellow question mark whenever you're making any changes. In order to actually see those changes in game, you have to compile. Go back to the game, hit play, and if you hit E, it should be playing whatever sound you have. The event that triggers your sound can be anything, right? Like you don't have to use the key E, you can use, you know, whenever a gun fires, or whenever your character is hitting something, or whenever a footstep is, or a foot is hitting the ground, and then trigger a sound that way.